Hello, Carrie here with Cookbook Divas. I just discovered this amazing cookbook. I love the idea. I have not cooked anything out of it yet, but boy am I going to. This lady's a genius. It's Cook Once Dinner Fix by Cassy Joy Garcia, and she is sharing recipes where you make one meal the night before, and maybe you make a way bigger portions so that you have leftovers on purpose. Even though it's delicious, your family can only eat so much. And then the next day, you turn those leftovers into a second pretty different meal, but using the leftovers. So for example, before we get into it, let me show you. Here's from the pork chapter. Oops. Come here. The first night she makes a pork bolognese pasta. And then the next day, either for lunch or dinner, she uses the leftovers to make lemony sausage and veggie soup. And her book tells you how to do it. And at the beginning, she gives you tips on how to refrigerate stuff or store it or freeze it in case you need to, etc. So let's jump in and get started. I love the beautiful end papers that we begin with. Cook Once Dinner Fix. Simon & Schuster is the publisher. It came out in 2021. And it's slippery. Excuse me, we're getting crazy here. Table of contents, introduction, meeting her, substitution guide, which I appreciate, 12 time-saving kitchen tips, fresh cooked versus made ahead, good to know. The trick to reheating foods. We're going to need to know those if we're going to use this cookbook to its full effect. Freezing foods, 101, kitchen equipment. And then her chapters are simple. They're by ingredient. Poultry, beef, pork, seafood. And I appreciate that she has an entire vegetarian chapter. So let's jump in and start looking at some of the recipes. We're in the poultry chapter. So she suggests the first night, chicken sloppy joes. Gives the recipe here. The second night, meal number 2, white enchilada casserole with tomato avocado salad. And here's the instructions. Sun-dried tomato bacon chicken pasta, the first night. Jamaican-inspired bowls, the second. Pretty cool. Oh, this is the about section where she chats about how she came up with the recipe, etc. And then here's the instructions. And she always has tips, which I appreciate. So how about teriyaki chicken with brown rice? And then the next day, you have bacon ranch loaded potato, or green curry meatball bowls with chicken parm meatball skillet with butter garlic pasta. That sounds like a crowd pleaser. We're still in the poultry chapter. One night could be buffalo zucchini boats with ranch roasted potatoes, and then Alfredo chicken lasagna with simple Italian salad. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. We're still in poultry. How about crispy roasted duck with warm beet salad one night, and then meal number 2, duck fried rice. It seems like the first night is usually the more involved cooking, and then the second night you're busy, you're rushing home after work, and it's easier, which I like that she designed it that way. Chipotle maple turkey bake, and then the next day a southwestern turkey casserole. So now here's the beef chapter. Let's pick out a couple of these to look at. Classic brisket with gravy, mashed potatoes, and asparagus. And then Mongolian beef bowls the next day. Here's beef enchilada casserole. And the next day, teriyaki ground beef stir fry. Stir fries are pretty easy to whip up. Loaded avocado bacon burgers one day. Crispy beef hash with simple tzatziki the next. How about garlic peppercorn beef roast with shredded beef ragu over pappardelle pasta. Perfect stovetop steaks, and then the next day you have beef ramen noodle skillet. I'm noticing the next day is a lot of skillet foods. Yeah, that totally makes sense. We're still in the beef chapter, hearty beef and vegetable stew, and then the next day, shredded beef tostadas. Here's the pork chapter. pork bolognese pasta, and then lemony sausage and veggie soup the next day. Slow cooker balsamic pork ribs and pulled pork sandwiches the next day. Bacon wrapped pork roast with purple cabbage and sweet potatoes. I like that she always has a side with the first dish. And then the second night is crispy ginger pork stir fry. Then she could do perfect carnitas with roasted Mexican street corn. The next night it's sticky honey garlic pork with white rice. And I like that she's going from one type of cuisine to another. She's starting off with Mexican and then going to Asian. Here's Cuban-inspired stewed pork, and then pork king ranch casserole with a mixed baby green salad the next night. That, I bet you are drooling at that picture. Let's jump ahead to the seafood chapter. Here's a lemon pepper halibut on night number 1. Night number 2, chili verde halibut melts with chili lime tartar sauce. Then there's a blackened shrimp taco bowls. The next day is seafood jambalaya, although I might want to do it in the opposite order if possible, because jambalaya is going to sit overnight and really meld the flavors and taste better the next day, but I don't know. She knows what she's doing. Chili lime tuna steak with tricolor quinoa as the side dish. The next day, tuna noodle casserole, comfort food crowd pleaser. Okay, now we're in the vegetarian chapter. Plantain black bean bowls, and the next day a barbecue bean casserole. Then enchilada stuffed zucchini boats. That's really pretty. The next day, vegetarian chili with vegan cornbread. General Tso's cauliflower, and the next day, cauliflower tinga tacos. Let's do one more. Night number 1, harvest stuffed squash. Night number 2, yellow curry with squash and crispy spiced tofu. So that is the ingenious cookbook, Cook Once, Dinner Fix, Cassy Joy Garcia. I'm going to go look up her other cookbooks because I want to see if, I think she's done some more and I want to check them out too. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.